this. Right. So, Negroes are under a spell. All right. What does the world say magic is? All right. That's the first thing I want to tackle. What does the world say magic is? All right. So let's go from etymology online. It says the late 14th century magic, okay? It is the art of influencing or predicting events. Influencing events, this is very important, or predicting events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. All right. Now, this is the definition from the late 14th century. All right. So there was other definitions before this. Also, supernatural art, especially the art of controlling the actions of spiritual or superhuman beings. This has some truth to it. They can't control the actions of spiritual beings or supernatural beings, but they certainly can what's the word? They can certainly consult them, okay? Because demons don't do what you tell them to do, right? You can talk to them, they'll make an exchange with you, right? Um, to bind your soul and keep your soul bound, but you can't command demons. Okay, that's why the disciples were so ecstatic when they would command demons to come out of people, and they would. Because under normal circumstances, you can't command demons. You don't have the authority. Okay? Demons listen to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Satan. Okay? That's their bosses. Okay. They don't listen to you, man. Right. They will also listen to whoever the Most High give power over them. Okay. Which the disciples had, man. The disciples had the power to cast out demons, right? And to command demons actually. And then Yahushua told them, hey, listen, don't rejoice in this power, rejoice that your names are written in heaven, because this business of controlling demons or commanding demons, that's soft things. Okay, that's not important. What's important is that your names are written in the kingdom, right? And he said that because he knew that Israel had an obsession with doing these things. And we'll see some of this in the scriptures today, right? The definition also goes on to say that magic is from magos, one of the members of the learned and priestly class. Okay. So in Persia, okay, or Elam, the people of Elam, they had people in their priestly class called magos, okay? And these magos were members of learned priestly classes, okay? Okay, so these magi, all right, had particular knowledge that common people didn't have, particular spiritual knowledge, okay, that common people didn't have, which could have included the ability, the various abilities that we're gonna go through today. Um, this next definition of magic is from a scholar by the name of Hutton, Ronald Hutton, okay, writing in 2017. He wrote in is this a book? I believe this is a book. Yep, in a book called The Witch, A History of Fear from Ancient Times to the Present, okay? And this was what do you call it? This was published by Yale University, okay, which is a very pretty prestigious university. So he says magic is the application of beliefs, is what we want, rituals or actions. This is accurate. Employed with the intent to manipulate natural or supernatural beings and forces. All right. So what we want out of there is that he has on point is that magic is the application of rituals and actions. Okay? It has nothing to do with belief. You can believe something and it's not real. In fact, many of our people believe things that are not real. That's part of why I wrote this lesson. Negroes are under a spell. They believe a whole bunch of things that are not real and don't know what to look for, right? So we're trying to solve that problem. Moving on, sorry. These are two very interesting definitions because we will see through the scriptures that hidden spiritual forces and not natural ones are used to predict events. Okay? So you cannot use hidden natural forces, what do you call it, to predict events. Okay? But you can use hidden spiritual forces to do that. And this is specifically done by necromancy. Okay, so let's just have a look at what necromancy is. This is 100% absolutely real, and the Bible backs it up. So this happens in the world today. So necromancy, also called negromancy, okay? Negromancy or negromancy, spelled in this particular way. By the way, a fun fact about this is, which you're going to see as we read later, is that the necromancy, which is dealing with the dead, was actually turned to negromancy, which is black magic. Mancy being magic, and the suffix here, negro, being black. So they took it out of dealing with dead, doing magic on the dead, to doing black people magic, essentially. Okay? And I remember Shalai always used to say when the heathen saw us like splitting cows and pouring out blood and burning animals on the altar, in their mind they would have been like, oh, these people are doing sorcery. Because that's what they were doing. But no, we were doing sacrifices to the Almighty God of the universe. You understand? But here, as a matter of a propaganda, they turned necromancy into negromancy. All right. And they did this in the 13th century, all right, when they were already sullying the name of the Negro, okay, and making the world believe that we were the scum of the earth. Okay. So it says negromancy is sorcery, witchcraft, or black magic. All right. Properly, divination by communicating with the dead. All right. So here's the proper meaning. Divination by communicating with the dead. And this is in the Bible, and we'll read the scriptures on it. All right. That's how we know this is real. So that's what necromancy is. Okay. So spiritual forces can actually be used to perform necromancy. All right. And then it says from Old French, negromancy, magic, necromancy, witchcraft, sorcery, etc., etc. I want to read the part where it comes from here. From Greek, necromantia. From necros, meaning dead body. Okay. This is the original. And mantia, meaning divination oracle. So you see, we go from a pie in the sky concept like black magic. What the hell is that? That's not grounded. What is black magic? Right? So in the 1300s, they end up with a pie in the sky imaginary concept like black magic or witchcraft or sorcery. But when you go further back, you see this thing was based on reality, okay? Which was doing divination, right? Or trying to find out what was going to happen in the future by consulting dead bodies. That's very specific, brothers and sisters, okay? From man to stein to prophesy, From mantis, one who divines, a seer, a prophet, a one touched by divine madness. I think that's all I want on this. Yes. Yeah, that's all I want. Oh, wait, hold on. The spelling was influenced in medieval Latin by nigger, black. You see that? Perhaps on the notion of black arts, although in Latin the word also was used to signify death and misfortune. The modern English spelling is a mid-16th century correction related to necromantic. Okay, so in the 16th century, they made a total correction. In the 13th century, they began to refer to it as negromancy or black arts or black magic. Okay. So going back here, we will see through scriptures that hidden spiritual forces, okay, and not natural ones, are used to predict events by consulting the dead. That's what necromancy is, okay? And we will also see that actions are indeed used to manipulate natural forces. This is very important. This is what the entire current empire is built on, using particular actions to manipulate natural forces. What natural forces? Your mind, your thinking. Okay? So they do certain things to manipulate your way of thinking and to get you into the paradigm or the way of thinking of the oppressor, right? And this is a huge part of Esau's practice of magic today. Okay, this is the grounded definition, right? Or one of the grounded facets of Esau's magical practice. It's not really, it's it's not mystical. It's spiritual and it's mental. This is how the man casts spells and practices magic upon you today because he understands the root of what is called magic. Okay? So let's see what Yahweh has to say about this whole concept of magic. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 33 and we'll read verse 1 to 9. Let's get that, please, Ben. And if I have any other readers, let me know. Are Akira and Ruth good for reading? And if there's any other readers, let me know.
I'm
Akira,
good to hear.
who was that? Ruth?
Yep.
Excellent. Akira, you good for reading today as well?
Akira is not online today.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I have any other readers, y'all just let me know, okay? So, let's get 2 Chronicles chapter 33. Go from verse 1, please.
Okay, verse 1. Manasseh was 12 years Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, but did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, like unto the abominations of the heathen,
Right, which is the other nations. Go ahead.
whom Yahweh had cast out before the children of Israel.
Right. So this brother, he started reigning at 12 years old. He reigned for 55 years. And he did evil in the sight of Yahweh, just like the abominations that the heathen were doing before Yahweh, right? So the heathen were doing these abominations before him, right? And he started practicing the same thing. So let's see what he did. Go ahead.
For he built again the high places which Hezekiah his father had broken down, And he reared up altars for
Hmm.
Baalim,
Yeah.
and made groves, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served them.
Right. So the brother put up altars to idols, to demons. Okay. He made groves for them to go and do their rituals in. All right. There's a place called the Bohemian Grove in America, which is a very high level grove for devil worshippers. Okay. And these devil worshippers are the leaders in democracy today. The politicians, you name one, they've been to the Bohemian Grove. You're not even supposed to speak about the Bohemian Grove, but a reporter named Alex Jones exposed that this place um, existed and even showed footage of what seemed to be them burning a child at the particular one of their services, man. Okay, which all these Edomites were at, all these high level politicians and businessmen, including, if I'm not mistaken, Justin Trudeau, man, right, was at the Bohemian Grove, right? So this is not a fantasy. And then what else did the brother do? He worshiped all the hosts of heaven, meaning he was worshiping the sun, the moon, and the stars, which Yahweh specifically forbids, man. Okay. And what was he doing? He was serving them, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay. Whereas I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, tells you be careful not to be careful not to uh worship the sun, moon, and stars, man. Is it 12 or is it 15? Bear with me. Bear with me a second. Okay, so this is about them worshiping the creatures. So this is specifically making fun of the Egyptians, man, that were worshiping well, the same locusts that mashed them up, the frogs, right? These particular beasts. The Most High is telling you in these uh two chapters here, you're worshiping beasts and idols that you make with the waste pieces of wood after you build stuff. And you're asking that thing for advice while you're ignoring the Most High himself, right? Yeah, so this is about the artificers. There we oh, I think this is what I want. But all men are vain, verse 13, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. All men are vain in whom there is no knowledge of Yahweh, and who by these good things that are seen could not understand him. Right? So they see all the good things, but they can't understand him that is. Neither by attending to the works have acknowledged who was the workman. So they praising all the works of the Most High, but not the workman. But have imagined, listen to this, the fire, the wind, the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the great water, or the sun and moon to be the gods that rule the world, man. Okay? So the brother goes on to rebuke them and say, you guys are Well, he's basically already said, you guys are worshiping the thing that was created and yet leaving out the creator and not realizing, or if these things are so wonderful, what about the creator of them, right? So they have in Wisdom of Solomon 13, verse 1 and 2, right? All right. So this is them worshiping the hosts of heaven and serving them. Read on. Sorry, so Manasseh was involved in the same level of foolishness as an Israelite priest, okay? And literally the king of Israel was supposed to be writing a copy of the Bible and exemplifying righteousness for the people. This is what he was doing, all right? An interesting thing to note is that when after Manasseh did all of this evil, he repented and Yahweh accepted him. Right? So how great is Yahweh? How merciful is Yahweh? Right? When by the end of this chapter, Yahweh rages against Manasseh and sends the Assyrians to put them in slavery. But Manasseh repents and the Most High accepts him, right? Even after doing all of this. All of that to say, no matter how dark the place that you're in is, there is hope for you if you actually change your mindset and commit your mind and your deeds or your hands to righteousness and turn from wickedness, right? Which I pray that you do this day, ye Negroes and ye sincere strangers seeking the Lord of all things. Read on.
Also he built altars in the house of Yahweh, whereof Yahweh had said, In Jerusalem shall my name be forever. And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in the two courts of the house of Yahweh.
Right. So this guy's building altars in the court of the actual temple of Yahweh for demons, man. Okay, go ahead.
And he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom.
Hinnom, right. What did he do?
Also he observed time.
No. Reread the first part. He caused what?
And he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom.
Right, pause. So this was a big problem that the heathen were involved in before we were in the land. The land had belonged to the Canaanites, but because the Canaanites were really into child sacrifice and every other abomination, sleeping with animals, man with man, people with their mother, people with their daughters and sons, all these, because of all these things, the Most High said to destroy them all. Okay. And here we have it in Wisdom of Solomon 12, right? From 1 it says, Oh, how sweet is thy spirit, O Yahweh, in all things. And therefore thou chastisest them that err. So the Most High will correct people that do the wrong thing. By little and little. Why? The Most High Spirit is so good and so sweet, meaning so gracious. He even gives you a chance to repent. And this is the other nations, man. Right? And this is exemplified in the fact that when we came into the land, he pushed them out using locusts and all of these things, right? He didn't just say, he didn't just have us wipe them all out and disappear. He gave them a chance to repent. And this brother tells you why. He says he gave them chance to repent because he know they're not going to do it anyway. Okay? So he gave them the chance to repent. Why? Though the Most High don't have to answer to no man, there is no man that can gainsay the deeds of the Most High because he deal with all people with exceptional grace, even the Edomite. That's why he tells you in Isaiah 26 and verse 10, the Edomite will die because when everyone else is practicing righteousness, the captor, the oppressor, the so-called European will not do it. He will not do it. And that's why he has to get rid of him. Everyone else will still be on the earth when we rule, but Edom will be eradicated because he refused at any time to do righteousness. So here I read, and it says, therefore thou chastisest them that err by little and little, and admonishest them, and speakest to them concerning the things wherein they offend, that leaving their wickedness, they may believe in thee, O Yahweh. So this is how Yahweh deal with all men. For those ancient inhabitants of thy holy land whom thou didst abhor, the Most High hated them, because, why? They did works hateful to thee by sorceries, and we'll find out what that means. And here we have it, wicked sacrifices. Okay? Let me see here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's go back. Wisdom of Solomon. What are the wicked sacrifices? Those merciless murderers of their own children. That's the wicked sacrifice. So Manasseh, an Israelite king, a holy priest, was indulged in the same sacrifices of the people who the Most High hated. And he hated them for these wicked sacrifices. And he also hated them for what is called sorceries. And you guys will see what sorceries are if you don't already remember from our previous studies. And those merciless murderers of their own children, and eaters of men's bowels. Here it says men's bowels. In another translation, it says men's flesh. I haven't looked into the Greek, so I can't attest to any of those, but the point is they were eating people, okay? So they were killing their own children. They were eating people, okay? And they were also drinking blood, okay? Okay. Those parents sacrificing sacrificing with their own hands helpless souls, that's babies. It was thy will to destroy by the hands of our parents. Okay, so the Most High killed them by the hand of Israel. All right. That the land which of all is most dear to thee might receive a worthy colony of the children of the Most High. Okay, so the Most High got rid of them. Okay, so that the land, which is the Most High's favorite land, could be occupied by the Most High's favorite people. All right. Going back here to 2 Chronicles 33. Where we at? Okay, he caused his children to pass through the fire. All right. So Manasseh family was sacrificing his children, man, to Satan. Okay. That's what the brother was doing. Okay. Read on.
Also, he observed times and used enchantments and used witchcraft and dealt with a familiar spirit and with wizards. He wrought much evil in the sight of Yahweh to provoke him to anger.
Right. That I think that's all I want there. Did I say 1 to 7?
And
1 to
I
9,
think
I said. I said 1 to 9. So does can anyone can anyone explain to me what it means when it says that Manasseh observed times? I just want to rapid fire through it. So let me know, you guys can just quickly let me know, yes, no, I know, I don't know, because I want to kind of get through them. We're gonna investigate them through the Septuagint, but I just want to know if anybody knows off the top. What does it mean when it says he observed times? Anyone know? Yes or no? Go ahead, y'all. Anybody know what it means when it says he observed times?
Is it divination?
Divination?
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely divination. That's still a bit general. Do we know specifically what he was doing?
Um, predicting the future.
Yes, definitely. He wasn't predicting the future, but he was looking to have the future predicted to him, right? By by whom or what?
Witchcraft.
No, but good guess.
Sorcery. Sorcery.
Nope, not by that either. We'll get to it.
But
Sorry, go ahead, Ben. Go ahead, Ben. By what?
Supernatural
By-
sign. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Ben.
natural signs,
By what?
natural signs like the moon.
Oh, that's good. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Natural signs by the moon. Actually, people that um would make those interpretations. So instead of using the prophets, he was using these people that would read natural signs like the moon
Like,
and the sun and these kinds of
like
things.
astrology or
yeah,
Yeah.
zodiac. Those people
Yep.
yeah.
that did
Yep.
yeah.
100%. Exactly that. Exactly that. So that's what the brother was doing. The brother was checking his horoscope. Yeah. He was checking his horoscope. I don't mean to laugh, but this is a king of Israel. Like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, you've lost your mind, you know? So, yes, he was doing that. Anyone knows what it means for using enchantments?
Uh, I think he used. I think it means like using unnatural medicine.
No,
They use like magic spells, charms, and stuff like that.
no.
He didn't.
That's not what that means.
So it doesn't mean secret art that they will be doing, like on television.
Mm-mm. No,
Okay.
it's more grounded than that, right? We'll move on. What about witchcraft? What does it mean when it says he used witchcraft?
Mag magic. He uses magic, right?
What is magic?
Spells, enchantment, source. So yeah,
What i-
source
what is what is a spell?
spells. And people use what their words, the wording, special
Okay.
words. Yeah,
What
said in. Oh, someone's speaking.
No, finish, and then the person will speak. Go ahead.
Oh, Ruth said in what did you say? Enchanting words.
No, nope. That's not what it is. But you guys,
Like you're
you,
chanting magic words.
yeah, that's
Is
what
that
the that's what the heathen say, but that's not actually what witchcraft is, right? But we'll clear it all up, right?
so?
But
It's
good guesses.
Ruth
Go
said
ahead.
summoning demons.
I'm sorry.
Ruth said summoning demons.
Nope.
Okay.
Again, that's what they say, but that's not
Oh,
what witchcraft actually is.
okay.
Yeah, good guess.
if it's justice here. Sorry. I'll say if anything, it's probably rituals that they do. If when it comes to these things.
Right, right. So that's kind of right. That's kind of right. Definitely the rituals are involved, but there's some specifics in there. We'll get into it, right? And then, so what about dealing with familiar spirits and wizards? What would that be?
Sorry, say that again.
Dealing with familiar spirits and wizards.
Would that be dealing with false prophets?
No, 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 no. Conceptually, I could see that somewhere, but not exactly. No.
Wouldn't that be more like going along what those people are called, like fortune tellers, because that's what they do. Like they consult
Yep,
spirits.
that's it. Right. So it would more be dealing with fortune tellers. But there's a specific kind of fortune teller. It's actually the necromancy, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So this what you guys will see when we look at the Greek, like literally just now, is that the English writers of the King James Bible put in all this kind of general Elizabethan demonology, like theology in there. So they removed a lot of the grounding from the words that were in the scriptures. And I mean, that happened because they were working from essentially the Masoretic text, which is a reconstruction of the Hebrew version of the Bible using other versions of the Bible. And that Masoretic text was actually created by the Edomites, okay? Created to give them authority and make it look essentially like they had the original Hebrew, which it's not the original Hebrew, it's a reconstruction. Um, so they're the ones that introduced this very general language and removed the grounding from the Greek. The Septuagint has a very grounded Greek meanings of these particular concepts. So some of the things that we see in English, like dealing with familiar spirits and wizards, are actually not even in the Greek at all. They're just embellishments that the translators of the Masoretic, the people that created the King James version of the Bible, it's just embellishments that they put in there um, because they were just using the Masoretic text. Okay, so um, let's see. I think that's. Let's finish see what he did, right? Then we'll get into the specifics of what these things are. Because again, the point of today is to show our people what it means for them to be under a spell. Like what exactly are these things, right? That's the point of today's lesson, to show what these things are and to take them out of the pie in the sky concepts of witchcraft and observing times and enchantments and familiar spirits and wizards and ground it in uh what the brothers were actually writing, right? So finish up 7 to 9, Ben, and then we'll move on.
And he set a carved image, the idol which he had made, in the house of Yahweh, of which Yahweh had said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen before all the tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever.
Right?
Neither will I any more remove the foot of Israel from out of the land which I have appointed to your fathers, so
Mhm.
that they will take heed to do all that I have commanded them, according to the whole law and the statutes and the ordinances by the hand of Moses.
Right.
So Manasseh made Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to err, and to do worse than the heathen, whom Yahweh had destroyed before the children of Israel.
Right. And this is a good precept for that scripture that says the leaders of these people that cause them to err, and those that are led of them are destroyed. So you have to be careful who you're following. It literally tells us here, Manasseh, the leader of the people, is the one that caused them to go off, man, and have them worshiping idols and all of these things. Okay, and doing worse than the damn heathen around them, man. Which Yahweh destroyed to give them the land, right? So now let's go ground these concepts, right? Let's take it back to the Septuagint, which I've said before and I'll say it again, this is the best translation of the Bible in existence today. Okay? Because it was actually translated by our people before the Common Era. Okay? So it was translated from Hebrew into Greek by our own people. So these people completely understood what was happening. They knew the cultural context, the words, they knew the practices that were happening and the practices that were not happening. They knew the secrets of the world at the time, and they left it in the Greek translation of the scriptures, right? So that's why recently, when I started going into the Greek translation, the Greek translation has revealed to me too many things that I literally would never be able to see had I just been reading the English translation only. All right, including the revealing the uh, actual meaning of Ezekiel 1 when it talks about creatures that have eyes all over. Okay. Um, right, which is one of the most difficult scriptures in the Bible. When you go into the Septuagint, you're able to very easily through the Spirit see what this thing is actually saying, right? In any case, we've read the Second Chronicles 33, 1-9 in the King James. Now let's look and compare the Septuagint. Okay, I'll refer to it as the LXX. That's what all people studying the scriptures know it as. So if you say LXX, people will know what you're talking about. All right, so what magic actually is according to Yahweh, all right? So we'll look at these particular things. Seeking omens, okay? This is what magic actually is to the Most High, all right? Seeking omens, and we can find this here. First, I wanted to show you guys just the general translation. So this is the Greek. This is one of the Greek translations, Sweet Septuagint, and this is the Greek here. What I did is I just copied verse 6 from here because I wanted the translation, but I didn't want Google's translation. If you just say translate to English, Google will give you what the religious translation is. But if you use AI, AI is able to give you the grammatical translation, which is what you're looking for. You're not looking for a translation that is colored by theology, by religious studies, especially the Christian church. You don't want it to give you a translation that the Christian church says is the translation. You want a translation of the language only, and you can make your decision as to what's supposed to be in there and what's not supposed to be in there. Okay, that's why Yahweh says the simple believe every word, but the wise looketh well to their going. And this is also why he says, study to show thyself approved, because you got to study this word, especially in this time, to be able to get the true meanings out of it, right? So in any case, that's what I did. I copied the verses I was looking for. I can read the Greek. Do I understand all the Greek? No, I understand some words um during the course of my study. So I put the actual Greek into the AI tool here, in this case DeepSeek, and I was able to see literally what this thing says, and conceptually by understanding the culture of the time, what it meant. So let me show you guys. So I just took, so verse 6 here, Kai ep episen, Kai episen, and I don't remember what this letter is. I think that's an A. Engastromythos, Engastromythos, kai epi dus. Okay, so let me see here. Where is it? Kai where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is this what I want? Bear with me here. Kai epoi sen. Kai epoi sen. There it is. Okay, so it's just giving me from here, right? I previously had translated this portion. Kai autos de gagen ta tekna autu and puri and ge bane yenu, etc., etc. Right? You guys get the point. I'd previously translated this, so now I'm just dealing with this part here. Okay. Kai epoi sen, etc., etc. So watch this. So it breaks down the word here. It says it breaks down the words kai and, right? Epoi sen, he made, and he made, and gas through morthus, belly speakers, man. He made belly speakers, okay? And, right, this word here, epoidus, he made belly speakers and chanters over, or singers upon. This is the literal meaning of those words, all right? So Manasseh did what? He made belly speakers and chanters over. Now, y'all might be like, what the hell does that mean? Okay, well, we're gonna get to it. Let's see. So it breaks down the entire language model and sort of the it breaks down the details of the language and what it's saying. And then it spits out for us a few things. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. All right. So after it does all this analysis, here's what it gives us. It gives us the Greek at the top, all right, and then it gives us the grammatical, not, natural grounded translation, all right, without religious interference. So it says, and he himself led through the children of himself in the fire of Gabe ben Hinnom. Okay, so the son of Hinnom. And he was receiving omens for himself, just like you guys said, right? He was receiving omens. He was doing the astrology and all of this. Okay, so that's what ekledon I think that's zito. That's what eklezon donizito means. He was receiving omens. That would sound suspiciously like Ecclesiastes, that English word. But anyway, it says, and he was doing what? It says, drugging himself, family. So first, what is the magic? It's seeking omens, okay? It's looking for meaning in the stars, which the Most High tells us not to do when we read Jeremiah 10, 1-4. Let's just read that real quick. All right, let's get that, please, Ruth.
Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right?
Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Mm-hmm.
For the customs of the people are vain. For
Pause.
one,
Pause. That's all I want there. Now we see why the Most High said, don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Because the heathen are dismayed at them. Right? So this is the omens. This is seeking what do you call it? Meaning from the stars of heaven, man. The sun, the moon, and the stars, eclipses, etc. And I think I even have a yep. Look at all the things in the ancient world that people used to look to for omens. Look at this. This is from Google's AI. In the biblical era and surrounding ancient Near East, specifically Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Canaan, Canaan is the same land that Israel is on, all right? Omens were seen as intentional messages from the gods written into the fabric of the natural world, all right? While the Hebrew Bible often prohibited these practices for Israelites, associating them with idol worship, which they were, because they'll tell you, oh, Thoth, the god Thoth, the god of the birds, has sent a new message, my lord. And because the birds are going northeast, it means that the king's son shall be born with a crippled arm. You understand what I'm saying? And so now you're going to the temple of Thoth and saying, oh, Thoth, help my son not to be born with a crippled arm. So it is tied to devil worship or the worship of demons. Okay. So it says commonly interpreted omens. Look at the ones that they had in the region. In that region included extispicy, so liver inspection. So they would inspect a liver and tell you what they see. All right. It says the most sophisticated form of divination practiced heavily in Mesopotamia. All right, which is Babylon. Priests would inspect the entrails, particularly the liver of a sacrificed sheep, to read signs. Irregularities in the gallbladder or liver lobes were interpreted as portents of success or defeat in war. All right, so they would use the animal. You get the point. Then they would use celestial phenomena. Eclipses, comets, and the movements of stars and planets were considered significant portents. Okay. For instance, a lunar eclipse was often seen as a direct threat to the king, sometimes prompting the substitute king ritual to avert the omen. So what they would do is say, oh, this guy is the king for this amount of time because the eclipse or the comet says the king is going to die in 30 days. So we have to make this guy the king for the 30 days. And then if nothing happens to him, then we put the real king back. Pure superstition, right? Here's what else they used to do. A normal here's how else they used to look into omens, right? Anomalous births. What is that? Birth defects, okay? So birth defects in both animals and humans were viewed as dire omens, foreshadowing specific, often catastrophic future events, which were recorded in Omen series. Okay, so they would like to look to see if your child had birth defects, as I illustrated earlier. Teratological and spontaneous signs. So, unexpected natural occurrences or behaviors. So if they saw a snake, a snake acting unusually, they would read an omen from that. If they saw a dog enter in the temple, they would read an omen from that. If they saw random bird flights, it's called augury. Manasseh was heavily involved in augury. We literally have the word saying the man was doing bird divination, which is this augury. So you see, there's no wizards and all of these general things in the actual thing written by our ancestors. They're telling you about specific things that were being practiced at the time that the Most High forbade. You see, they're not pie in the sky. They're grounded in reality, right? Reading on, they will also look into omens of the ear, meaning casual, unheard conversations that were overheard by chance. They would sometimes interpret as having prophetic significance. Okay, so I heard Brother Justice say, the Raptors are gonna, I don't know, win in Game 7, and so that means that you know I don't freaking know. I need to buy 4 donkeys tomorrow. Utter foolishness. Okay. Um, they would also look at the movements of animals. So it says the direction in which animals ran or birds flew could be interpreted as good or evil omens. All right. So this is this is just the level of insanity, man, that the heathen were dealing with, and that Manasseh himself began to deal with, man, as the king of Judah, man, really the king of the nation, right? So, what is magic actually to the Most High? Seeking omens, okay? That's one of the things considered magic. Using drugs, family. That's another thing that's considered magic by the Most High. Or that, yes. Okay? This is what magic is. Seeking omens. So you're consulting everything except the prophets of the Most High for meaning, except the scriptures in this time for meaning, except the priests of the Most High for meaning. You're consulting everything else. The stars, tarot cards, your witch coven, these stinking rappers. Who else? Miss Cleo. You're calling Miss Cleo, man, for $5 an hour, man. Right? Using drugs was the next thing, right? Watch this. I was so shocked when I seen this. Manasseh used to do drugs, man. All right, so do I have this pulled up? Drugging himself. All right. So let's see if it gives you the breakdown of I want to show you guys the actual word for drugging yourself. Bear with me. Just give me a sec. And nope, that's those guys. Okay, that's not that. Okay, so let's just pull it up then. I know this is the word for drugging yourself here. F F Pharmacuto. So let's just copy this and ask the AI. I like to use this one because it's not colored with Western propaganda as much. Please translate showing which word means pharmaceutical. This might or might not yield the correct answer. Let's see. All right. Here's a literal translation of the Greek text with bold highlighting the word that means pharmaceutical, related to drugs or potions, family. All right. So the word that it highlight, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's this one right here. It's slightly more bolded than the others, but I already showed you guys this is the word. It's just confirming. He himself made his children pass through the fire in the valley of Ben Hinnom, and he practiced divination and used pharmaceuticals. Okay. Now this actually just says drugs, okay? Or potions. But what is a potion? That goes back into the mystical pie in the sky, non-grounded concept. The grounded concept of this word here is drugs. It means drugs. It also means poisons. Okay. Now, if the man was constantly using poisons, he would have died. That's what poison does. It kills you. But a drug is a very slow poison, okay, that kills you over time. So the brother was using drugs, man. Now am I going left with this? No, because I have an article here that shows you that in ancient times, drug use, though not written about, was though sparsely written about, was quite common. And they know this from archaeological records, right? So let's just continue here. It says he and practiced augury, omen reading. It doesn't give the specifics here, but this is literally by birds. And he made ventriloquists. This is the belly singers and enchanters. The enchanters are by song, by music. He multiplied doing evil before Yahweh and provoked him to anger. Explanation of the word. F pharmaceutical means drug, man, poison or magic potion. Again, we're getting rid of the pie in the sky concepts of general magic potion because there's no such thing. Okay? There's no such thing as a magic potion, man. But there are drugs and poisons. Okay? It says it means he practiced sorcery using drugs or pharmaceuticals, and he administered potions for magical purposes. In ancient contexts, this often involved herbal or chemical concoctions for magical rites. All right. And the truth of it, it's chemical concoctions, okay, used for magical rites. All right. So, I don't know, you want somebody to fall in love with you. You take this poppy potion, okay? Take these drugs right here, okay, and go lie down. And if you have hallucinations, that means it's gonna happen. Okay? So you're being tricked, man, into taking drugs, man. Right? And you're doing it because you want these things to happen, or you're just self-medicating, right? Because maybe you can't deal with the pressure of being king. Lord knows, man, what's going on. But the point is, the brother was actually using drugs, man, right? Whether ritual, casual, or both, that's what was happening in real life, right? So let me see what I have here. Okay, so I went there, and then I went to the translation. What do I have here? That's good. So let's get another witness on that. Let me pull up this word here. Again, in verse 6, this is the word pharmaceutical. Let me see if I can search this on Google as well. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they still give you the pie in the sky, but at least they tell you the root is what? to use drugs, potions, spells, or sorcery. And we know spells and sorcery is not real. This is not real. Okay? This is real. The brother used drugs and took the potions that the thieves and liars were given to him to tell him, and idol worshippers were given to him to get him closer to his idols. All right? And how do we know that? We'll look at that other witness, and then I'm going to read to you guys real quick where it tells you straight up that in the ancient times, drug use was a big thing. Okay. So let's look at this witness here in Micah 5:12. You're going to realize, you're going to see that the same word is used, pharmacuton, right? And in Micah 5:12, the Most High promises to remove the drugs from the hands of the Israelite. Think about that, family. Why thousands of years ago is the Most High promising to remove drugs, okay, and potions from the hand of the Israelite, man? Right? Why is Israel dealing with the same issues today? Everywhere you see Israel, a big spliff in their mouth, man. Right? Some Israelites, they're on the cocaine, the heroin, right? And God knows what else, man, the E, right? Some people are addicted to pharmaceuticals at the drugstore, man. When the Most I tell you, go to the apothecary. That's why I said to the sister, I'm glad that the natural remedy was able to heal Amari, man. You know, because that's what we're supposed to be using. Esau makes drugs. He been making drugs. He learned how to make drugs from other ancient cultures that been making drugs. Okay? And guess what? When Esau gives you drugs, your faith goes from Yahweh to him. Check your parents. If you tell your parents, oh, you're sick, take a bush medicine, man, and pray to the Most High. They might do it the first time or the second time, but best believe they go into that doctor. And if the doctor tell them don't take the bush medicine and instead pop 2 a leaf, they pop in the 2 a leaf, man. Some cultures, especially the Hamites, the so-called Africans, will just not use the bush medicine, man. Some of them, they'll take the drugs. They will not take the bush medicine. They will choose the drugs over the bush medicine. Anyway, let's go to Micah. Okay, so here is the text from Micah 5:12. Don't remember what this letter is. I'm not gonna try to read this to save time, all right? But this is the Greek text. Kai ex exole three. What is this? Three soup? Anyways, let's keep it moving. Exolo through threo. Threo. Okay, so this is a U. S though. Anyways. Oh, that's the root word. It's not conjugated. Let me zoom out here. Look what the Most High says in Micah 5:12. First, let's go to it here so you guys can see. Let's get that, please. Sister Kira, you can read?
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, let's get 12 here, please.
Okay. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers.
Right. So the Most High said, I'm going to cut witchcraft out of your hand, and you're not going to have any more soothsayers. So what is this witchcraft? Right? We said we're going to deal with that. What is this witchcraft? Well, our ancestors wrote the precise thing that witchcraft was, right? And look what they said. Pharmaca. Pharmaca. Okay. Now let's look at the translation in the list. So this is the sentence horizontal. This is the sentence broken down vertically. Kai, and this word here, I will destroy or root out. Ta pharmaca. Okay? The root word is pharmacon. Okay? The drugs family, the potions, the poisons, man. Right? The Most High said he would take the drugs out of Israel's hands, man. Right? So Israel was taking drugs thousands of years ago, man. Just like they're taking drugs today. Cigarettes, ganja, and the like. Cocaine, heroin, meth, pharmaceuticals, and the like. You know? And I know the pharmaceutical one is controversial, but I'm gonna say it because it said the word here is pharmacon, which is literally the root of pharmaceutical. And Esau pretends to be Moses by putting two snakes on a stick and telling you he's the healer using his drugs. Meanwhile, Yahweh is the healer using natural medicine. Okay. So he says he's gonna take out the drugs, pharmacon. Okay. Conjugated here as ta pharmaca. Presented here as e pharmacuto. Pharmacuto. Pharmakeuto. A pharmacuto. Right? So you're gonna take away the drugs. Also, he's gonna take away what's this? Apple. What is this? Apple, what is this? Oh, apple full. There we go. Here's the word. Apple, apophthengomai. Apophthengomai. Okay, that makes sense. Goma. No, this is apple. This is apple. Apophtheg o menoi. Conjugated. My gosh, man. How did people speak Greek? Damn. Those speaking out, those uttering. All right. So this is another set of people that he was gonna take out from amongst us. Okay. The utterers, which anyway, we can deal with that another time. The point is, the Most High says he's gonna remove the drugs from Israel. In 2 Chronicles 33:6, when we read the LXX, we see pharmaceuticals, man. I don't remember the word. We see the farmer wood being used. And in Micah 5:12, we see the same farmer word being used. Now that word is used to represent what family? In the English translation, that word pharmakon is used to represent what? What is it translated as?
Pharmacy.
Nope. In the English, what is that word translated as when we read here? Because we just looked at Micah 5:12. We looked at Micah 5:12 in the Greek translation of the scriptures. Okay. And then we have pharmaka. Pharmaka, where is it? Pharmaka means drugs, potions, or poisons. Do we see the word drugs, potions, or poisons here in the English translation?
No.
No. And if you go to a parallel English translation, all of them that I've seen, let me put it this way. Yeah, all of them that I've seen, and I looked at a lot, say, I'm going to cut out witchcrafts and soothsayers. But our ancestors did not write witchcrafts and soothsayers. What did they write? Anyone? What did they write? They didn't write witchcrafts and soothsayers. What did they write?
Drugs.
They wrote drugs, man. So how did drugs turn into witchcraft, man? So when you see witchcraft written in the scriptures, what is it actually saying? What did our ancestors actually write, family? They wrote drugs. I think that's all we got time for today. Do you guys want to do one more? We can
Yeah.
we can do one more and then save the rest for next week because I have some other stuff to add to it too. Yeah? Everyone's good with one more?
Con.
Yeah.
All right, all praises. So watch this. So what is the most I consider magic? Seeking omens, so doing astrology and tarot readings and all of these things, okay? That's what the most I considers magic or witchcraft. All right? Or magic, I should say. Using drugs, man. That's what the most I consider as witchcraft, man, or magic, right? Employing incantations and chanters. So let's look at this. Let's see. Pull up. So, just bear with me a sec. Hmm. Ta, ta, ta. All right, cool. So, second noun, okay. So, what else was does the Most High consider to be magic? Employing incantation chanters, okay? Using or employing, I should say. Using, becoming, or employing. And that's what Manasseh was doing. In the Greek, you find out Manasseh actually hired these guys to be part of his court, man. Okay? These guys were in the court. So he has mediums basically, right? And conjurers, for lack of a better word, right? People conjuring demons through songs, the man has them in his court. They have a job. Meanwhile, Lord knows which righteous man is struggling in the field, man. And this guy's hiring devil worshippers, man, right? And communers with demons, man, and paying them, you know. So let's click here. I think I might have done that already. Let's see. So what do I have here? See, second noun, ep epoidus. All right. Just give me a second. Second noun. Just bear with me a second.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So he was employing these people. Were they also Israelites that he was hiring to do this?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't say. It could have been. Because if he's leading them astray, you know, some of them might have been into these practices and now they're comfortable to come out. So but I don't know. Where is this thing? Just bear with me a second. Here's the word. Um, ep epoidos. Incanter, singer, or chanter over. All right. Incanter, singer. Now, what does this mean? Yeah. So what does this mean? Okay. Where is it? We have the meaning. There we go. Here. What does it mean to be an is that an epasidos? I can't really tell. I don't remember. I can't tell what this letter is, if it's an S or an O. It looks like an O. Epiodos. Epiodos. In any case, what does the word mean? Someone?
Spell singer, enchanter of formulas.
Yeah. So he also employed spell singers, man. People that are there to chant or sing spells in his court. Okay? Now, notice, yeah. So he's employing people that are singing incantations in his court. Okay? I wanted to find where it tells you actually these people's it tells you straight up that they used to be singing spells, man. Incantation singer. Spell singer. Incantation singer here. She's not it. Singers upon. Epidus, which is what I want. Chantovers, singers upon. Right around here, it should tell me the actual, should break down the actual meaning. There we go. There's what I'm looking for. So here's the word. Okay, so this is what I just put the wrong link in. Epoidus. Um, one who sings, chants over or upon. What this word actually describes. Here we go, family. An epoidos, plural epoidoi, was a practitioner who used sung or chanted formulas to achieve a magical effect. This could include chanting over a sick person to heal them, reciting incantations over a wound or a snake bite. Okay, we don't really see that today, other than maybe some of the bush doctors in the Caribbean and probably some of the Hamites. But here's what we see all the time: singing spells to bind or curse someone. This is what I really wanted to point out. Here's another piece I wanted to point out. Using rhythm, rhyme, and repetition to invoke supernatural power. Okay? What is this supernatural power? The only thing they can invoke if it's in unrighteousness. Demons. Mind control. If you want to put it in a psychological lens, right? This is what's happening when it tells you the man had chanters in his court. Okay? Can we think of anyone that sings spells to bind or curse people and uses rhymes, rhythm, and repetition to invoke particular spirits today? Where is this happening, Israelites? Where is this happening, family?
Church,
Church, 100. Where else?
entertainment.
Entertainment, 1,000, right? Because hip hop and R&B music and culture controls Israelites today. Controls them, right? Controls their thinking, their actions. Everybody want to be a rapper, a singer. Controls their standards of beauty, intelligence, and the list goes on, man. Okay? These are magicians. These are magicians. And this is the magic. They use the music to bind you, man. When you're bound, you're a prisoner, man. They use the music in very specific ways. The Most High let you know, and our ancestors recorded it. They use rhythm, rhyme, and repetition to invoke supernatural powers. They sing spells to bind you and to curse you in sin, man. Right? And Manasseh had them in his court, man. You know, Manasseh's sitting there with the ancient Lil Wayne, man, and Rick Ross and Jigga, right? And Beyonce and whoever the hell else, man. He has these people in his court. And they feel nice because they got the big chain. Nothing's changed, family. They got nicer clothes than you. They got the big chain. They got the chariot. They're eating good. Celebrities in the ancient times and celebrities today, man. Right? So we'll just look at these last few scriptures about how exactly music is able to bind individuals, right? Let's get Romans 12:2, right? I already said it, but let's prove it through the scriptures. Romans 12:2. Go ahead. Who is it to read? You guys should know. Go ahead.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, that ye may prove that what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh.
Right. So the Most High tell you, don't be conformed to the world, man. If you add Proverbs 3:31, he tell you, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways, man. None of them. Don't think and don't act like this man. Don't take the mark in your forehead and don't take it in your right hand. Don't think like him and don't do his deeds, because his thinking is sin and so is his action, right? But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And if your mind is renewed, then you can prove, okay, or recognize the good, the acceptable, and the perfect will of Yahweh, man, which is to keep these commandments in spirit and truth. So if you conform to the world, you can never do the rest of what this thing is talking about. And you're under a damn spell. And you're gonna perish at the hand of Yahweh the power. You know? Let's get Proverbs 23:7. You see, all these magic, all these things that qualify as magic, if you guys realize, they work upon one thing. And what is that? I already gave away the answer. Somebody say it. All these things that the Most High class as magic and tell you do not do, they work on one part of your body. What is that part?
Mind.
Your mind. They destroy your mind. That's why the Most High says renewal comes through the mind as well. See, once a mind is destroyed, you don't have to destroy anything else. It will destroy the rest for you. It's like if you put a virus on somebody's computer, you don't have to destroy all the files. The virus will do it for you. And if the virus completely destroy the person's computer, they might also just throw the computer out as well. Instead of trying to install a new operating system, they'll just dash the computer. So this method, Satan knows, is the most effective. And so that's why he keeps using it. This is the magic, man. These are the magics. Continual works upon your mind to draw you into devil worship, man, and communing with evil spirits. Physically, philosophically, spiritually, to commune with evil spirits. And to be bound to sin. Proverbs 23:7 says, Sister Kira,
For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee.
right? So, couple of things here. The most I tell you, as a man think in his heart, so is he. Satan knows this. Your thinking creates you. And you don't think in your heart that beating on your chest. All right? You think with your mind. Right? Last scripture. 1 Corinthians 2 from verse 14. Let's get that, please, Ruth.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Yahweh, for they are foolish unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
Spiritually discerned, right? Lastly, the scriptures tell you the natural man, right? The unspiritual man, the man that trusts in the magics, he can't receive the things of the Spirit of the Most High. Receiveth not. He can't do it. Why? It's foolishness to the man. So when you talk to certain people and they don't take in the word, if you're fighting them, you're wasting your time. Because this is foolishness to the man. So the same way that if somebody come and talk to you about certain things as a believer in the Most High and His Word, you write it off as foolishness and you go on with your day. The same thing happens on the other side. The wicked man believes that what you believe and what you practice is foolishness. And he take it out of his mind. The Most High said he's not able to know them, man. So you're wasting your time again trying to convince people. When you hear people not listening, it's time for you to begin to see how to make your way out of the conversation with calm and your peace still intact. Dusting off your foot, like Yahweh Shai say, as a witness against them and keeping it moving. You can leave with a blessing. Well, this is peace. Don't leave with this, because now you're participating in their wickedness, as the Most High say. But you can leave them with a blessing and be out. You know? Said the natural man cannot know these things because these things are spiritually discerned, man. Right? So Negroes are under a spell. They don't know because they don't know the meanings of these things. They don't know the meanings of witchcraft, right? They don't know the meaning of enchantments and all these things. Why? Because they're deliberately obscured. Our ancestors did not write down these words, these generalities that come from Esau's imagination, man. Esau tell you about dragons and fiery flying serpents and all of these things. Our ancestors didn't write about dragons, man. Okay? They wrote about snakes. And if you tell an Israelite about a snake, man, he know who that snake is, man. Or at least he knew at the time. You know you're talking about the Edomite as soon as you say the damn snake, right? But Esau turned these concepts into a pie in the sky to bind you, man. To keep you lost in the source, to get you lost, number one, in the source, and to keep you there, right? But through the writings of the Most High, if we go through the records left by our ancestors, we can understand these things, right? So, what magic actually is, according to Yahweh? Seeking omens, using drugs, using, becoming, or employing incantation chanters, right? Which are basically wicked musicians. Okay. Right? Hanging on these people's every word and lifestyle, man. That'll get you killed. Right? And next week, Lord willing, we'll look at some of the others and get into some other um uh spells that Negroes are under. Right? So with that, all praise to the Most High. I'm gonna stop the broadcast. But we as the people of the Most High will pray out. All right? I mean the broadcast, the recording.